we are going to discuss some of the features that we might apply to our reports. The one very common features that we normally use is data grouping and sorting. Means data we group together to produce certain result, and we can also sort that data to receive something fruitful. So let us understand these terms: data grouping and sorting. Grouped data. Grouped data are the data formed by aggregating individual observation of a variable into the groups. Like if we have certain observation, we aggregate them together to form a proper group, so that a frequency distribution of these group, it serves as a connection or as a convenient means of summarizing or analyzing the data. So to properly analyze or summarize our data, we can group together certain individual observation so that their frequency distribution, they can serve as a convenient means of summarizing or for analyzing our data. A report group, if we talk about report group, so it represents a sequence of consecutive records in the data source which have something in common, such as the value of certain report fields. A report group, it is defined by the group element. A report, it can have any number of groups. So if we want to group certain consecutive records in our report together, so we can group them together and create a particular name for that group, so that whenever we need to see that data for analysis, instead of calling individual records, what can we do? We can just simply write down the group name and all the elements of the group will appear for the analysis of data. So that is why this data grouping is an important feature of our reporting, because using this feature we can group the data and so the reports, they can be easily generated. Sorting, like all of us know, sorting allows us to order the report results to represent your business information in a more informative manner. For example, you can alphabetically sort the country and region on the report, allowing you to quickly find a particular region. That means if you have data related to various regions, so what can you do? You can sort them. Sort them means you can alphabetically arrange them, either in ascending order or in the descending order. That creates an ease to find the record. If you are manually seeing the records of the report and you have sorted them properly using the sorting feature of our report group, so in that case, your sorting process will help you to easily retrieve any record from the report, because we alphabetically arrange them from A to Z, or that can be done in the descending order also from Z to A. Similar to that, if we have certain numerical figures that we can have in our data, so that can also, if we want to analyze the profit related to certain products, so you want to see which product produces us a maximum benefit. So you can simply, rather than individually checking them all, sort them together in the decreasing order. So what will happen? The product with the highest profit, it will come on the top. So sorting, it definitely helps you in analyzing your data easily. So that is, these are two features, data grouping and sorting, that we can very well use in our reports to make them easy for them to retrieve any data from there. Now we have filtering reports. So a report filter, it is a part of a report that screens data in your data source to determine whether the data, it should be included in or excluded from the calculation of the report results. Filters, they are helpful in clarifying the large quantities of data and only displaying the subsets of that data. So reports, they show the users what they really need to see. So filter would, like if we simply consider this process of filtering, so what will happen when we filter something? The required thing, they will come on one side and the waste things, they will come on the other side. So filtering. So that is what we do in the reports also. We can very easily filter the data. Suppose we have a whole set of data in the table in which suppose that your students' information of all the streams like MBA of all the branches that we have. We have marketing branch, we have IT branch and all those. We want to see something specific. So we can filter the data. We can simply put on this filter option into the report and we can write down MBA marketing. So what will happen? All the students who have opted for MBA marketing, their list will appear. So filtering, what will happen with filtering? The required data, it will appear for you. Filtering, it ensures that the report result, they contain only the data that answer the specific business query the report was designed to answer. So that means using filter, what can we ensure? We can ensure that the report, when we put in certain query, certain question onto the report, so filter will help us assuring that we only receive the data that we have asked for. We only receive the answer from the report that we have asked for or what the report was designed for. If we discuss about the designing of the report, so using the filtering option, we will only achieve the required result. It is important to design the correct filter to retrieve the desired data. Filters, they are most commonly used in reports to filter all the data the report would otherwise retrieve from the data source and display to the users. However, filter also be used for the specific object on a report, such as on a metric. That means if we want to see certain specific object, if we want to check out for certain specific object on the report, so filtering option, it is definitely going to help us. What will happen with the filtering option in the report? We only get to see the required data. Since we have now an ample amount of data into the data sources, for the analysis, we may require a certain sort of data. So with the help of filtering option, when we choose that filter report option, so only the data that we need, that we want to see, only that data will appear rather than the whole set of data being appearing. So filter will do what? It will help to retrieve the data that we need. So they are helpful in clarifying the large quantities of data and only displaying those subsets of data which the user they want to see into the report. The next feature that our reports they can have is adding calculation to the reports. You can perform calculation in the report using the data from one or more report item. That means using our report. That means we are doing certain analysis of data using our reports. Into those reports only, we can perform the calculations. So what will happen if we want to see the profit of some product and we want to increase it? So same calculation, once you retrieve the data into the report, you perform the calculation and you will receive the output in the report itself. Example, you can multiply the value of the salary column by 1.05 to see the results of a 5% increase. That means there is an organization who wants to put a raise of 5% into the salary of the people. So what can it do? Into the salary column where the salaries of all the people are stored, it will multiply that column by 1.05. So that will happen what? We will get to see that what will be the actual calculation that will be received after doing this 5% increase. So you can also concatenate the first name and the last name into a single column. Like normally when we store the data, we store the first name of the people into one column. We store the last name of the people into the next column. So we can combine these two data together. That can be done into our report. So likewise, many types of calculation, they can be performed onto the reports to help us in the easy analyzing the data. You can create the calculated fields for the individual report layout to display the calculations. Unlike the calculated fields created for a table or a set, a report's calculated features, they are only available to that report and not to the other layouts. Calculated fields, they can perform the calculation using the data from a single record. You can also perform the summary calculations, like you can perform the total and the average using the data from multiple records. That means from multiple records you can receive the data and you can perform the summary calculations. Calculated fields, they can also display simple calculation like calculating today's date or current page number that we want to see. So all these kind of calculated fields, they can appear onto your report and help you in performing the data analysis easily. Once you have all the fields, you want to perform any kind of calculation to see what is going to be the output. If this, I will do this, like we have talked about, if we do a 5% increase into the salary of the people, what will be the result? So that result, simultaneously viewing your report, when you are viewing the salary of various people into the organization, so the same result will be outputted with the help of calculations that you can perform into the reports themselves. So adding calculation, it is another feature that our reports can help, and that helps in the retrieval of data or checking out or performing any changes into the data easily. Then we have conditional formatting. Conditional formatting, it enables you to highlight the results or change the formatting based on the data. You can, for example, conditionally format the results to highlight particularly high or low results with specific colors or with some text comments such as high performance or the low performance. This feature, you might use MS Excel. You must be knowing about this feature of conditional formatting. What can we do with the conditional formatting? The same is what we can do into our reports using this conditional formatting. So what happens? If we have certain data, if we want to analyze that data, that whether it is producing the high result or the low result. So once you see it written in the form of text, high, low, so it will be difficult for you to analyze. But what if the high ones, where the high is, it comes into a different color like the green color, and the low, they come into the red color. So what will happen? Wherever you see the green color, you will so easily understand that these are the things that are producing the high result. So that is what we can do. And even the text can be done. If you have certain numerical figures, like you have certain data, if you have the marks of some students and you want to see that the score of all the students, you want to see that if the students have attained the marks above 50, we will rate them as the high, and below 50, then we will rate them as low. So using this conditional formatting, what can be done? Wherever the marks are greater than 50, there you want the text to be written high, and wherever the marks are less than 50, you want the text to be written low. So that way, conditional formatting, it helps us to check our data very easily. We do not have to separately write down everywhere that if the marks are greater than 50, it is high, less than 50, it is low. We do not have to do it. We can simply apply this function of conditional formatting, and using this conditional formatting everywhere, seeing that marks column, automatically the result high and low will be updated for you, or different colors can be updated for you, or whatever formatting you want to do, that can be updated for you. Conditional formatting, it can help make the patterns and the trends in your data more apparent. To see it, you create the rules that determine the format of cells based on their values, such as some following monthly temperature data with colors used to cell values. That means colors tied to these values. You want to see the temperature data, so colors, you may put some colors as per the temperature records. So conditional formatting, it helps us to see the data very quickly and easily. If they are formatted into different colors, or they are formatting into bold, some columns of our records, if they are formatted into the bold, so we can easily see them. So apply conditional formatting to the status field by clicking either the conditional formatting button in the top menu or apply it directly onto the field. So this conditional formatting, it can be applied onto the reports that are being generated. And if you apply certain conditional formatting, you will get to see different formats for the data that you have asked for, And using this conditional formatting, you can analyze, you can retrieve the correct result quickly. Now, next is adding summary lines to the reports. Summary line means we can add certain summary, certain summarized form of data along with our report, which help us to achieve the result, what the result of that output is, very easily. So a summary begins with an introductory sentence that states the text title or author or the main point of the text you want to see. That is what a summary is. If you have written some article, you want to put some summary of it. So what can you do? You can write down the text title, you can write down its author and the main point of the text. So that is what a summary is. A summary, it is written in your own words. A summary, it contains only the ideas of the original text. So when your report, it includes a numeric field, you can include a calculated summary row to display the sum, the average, the count, maximum, minimum of the values to that column. The summary field, it will be calculated for the entire report and for each group. If you have the grouped items, you can have the summary row for the numeric field. That means if in your report you want to see the summary, if you have certain column in which all the product cost it is being written and you want to summarize it, so you can simply apply the sum function and you can see the summarized price of all the product. So that is what you can do. You can even in your summary write down the maximum thing, you can write down the minimum thing. So all these things they can be done using the summary feature and they will help you to retrieve the data quickly. You can even use a summary to sum a calculated field like the expected revenue for certain opportunities. That can also be written down in the summary. What you have to do for this? Click the Add Summary field icon above the filter option. So the summary field, they will appear in the report filter and the parameter area. So when you want to apply this summary field onto your reports, at that point of time, what you have to do? You have to click on the Add Summary field icon, which is above the filter options. And the summary field, it will appear in the report field and the parameter area. So if you get this option of summary field, so how can it help you? It can very easily help you to summarize your data. If you have certain big calculations and you want to see what is a whole set of summary of that data. So for this, we can apply this summary field to the reports. Now we have two features into our reports. One is drill up, another is drill down. So drill down and drill up. These two features, they make reporting both practical and powerful at the same time. In business intelligence, this drill down and drill up, they are two important features. In data analytics tool, they both give you the freedom to see the information and the data. So since they are so much powerful, let us understand what these two terms will help you in. First, talking about drill down. So drill down, it is a feature that allows a user to go from the broad view of data to more detailed one with a single mouse click. That means just pressing a single mouse click, you can reach from the broader view to the more detailed view. A report on the sales revenue by the state, for example, allows the user to select a state, click on it and view the sales revenue by city in that state. Suppose you want to see the revenue of a state, the whole state. Using the sales revenue option of the state, you can see it. Now you want to see more detailed view. That within that state, you want to see the revenue city-wise. That in that particular state, what is the city-wise revenue that can be retrieved? So that can be done with the help of drill down. That is why this is called drill down. Drill down means we have a broader view above and we want to see a more detailed view. We want to see more intense data about it. So that is what can be done with the help of drill down function. And just the reverse of it, it is drilling up. Drilling up, it is the polar opposite of drilling down. To put it simply, if we say drilling up, it means to replace the data you are drilling up on with the data for the parent element of that data. So drilling up, what will happen in drilling up? You have certain data and you want to see the parent data of it. You want to see if you can understand it in the form of hierarchy. If we have certain hierarchy, we have the topmost manager at the highest level, and we have certain managers working below it, and within from that manager at the end we have various employees who are working in the organization. If you want to understand the task done by the topmost level managers, so that we can see using the data of topmost level manager. Now we want to suppose analyze these tasks from the tasks that are done by different lower level managers. So that task, this is known as drilling down, that we have understood the tasks that are done by the topmost manager, but within him, who are all the managers that are working and what tasks they are working on. So that can be analyzed with the help of drill down. And drilling up is just the reverse. We know the task of the lower level manager and we want to see the parent element, that is a top level manager. So that is called drilling up. Drilling down is from the broader view, we can reach to the detailed view, and drilling up is from the detailed view, we can reach to the broader view. So these two terms, they are just reverse of each other, drill down and drill up. Now we have another thing which is called drill through capabilities. With drill through in your reports, you can create a destination target page in your report that focuses on a specific entity such as the supplier, the customer or the manufacturer. Drill through. That means you can create a destination target page that focuses on a specific entity. We have the whole set of data into our reports and we want to focus on a specific entity. Suppose we want to focus on a particular customer who is taking most of our products, or we want to check out a particular supplier who is supplying us with various products, or the manufacturer. That means we want to understand the data about a specific entity. So that feature, the reports they provide us with the help of drill through option. So drill through, it is simply another word for the navigation. It is, however, a crucial principle because it allows the user to click on the visualization to explore more related information. In other words, you are taking the user's click and redirecting them to a different dashboard or report that displays the related data. So drill through, it is a function which is provided in Power BI also, which allows you to navigate through different layers of data in the selected category data set. That means you have to select the category that you want to analyze. Suppose you want to analyze all the suppliers of the organization. So using this drill through feature, you can focus on those particular suppliers only. Since we have in our data warehouses so much of data put in together and we want to analyze some selected people. We want to analyze certain selected set of data. So using our drill through capability option, we can do this. We can create a destination target page which focuses on a particular specific entity. That is how we can analyze that data. We have to focus on the specific entity, so we can create a separate destination target page for that particular thing. When the user click on that particular supplier, so he will be targeted to a next page in which all the data related to that particular supplier will appear. This is called drilling through.